So further along on this GT500, we got the pump situation taken care of for the intercooler. Now we're going to be doing a little bit of maintenance on this thing. Customer wanted an oil change, so that's what we're gonna be doing right now, getting the oil drained. Have to get the oil filter off, obviously. Once we're all drained out, then we'll top it off with some good old 5W50 Motorcraft. Yep. It's been a little dark. I don't know when the last time is that they changed this, but definitely worth notating how dark this stuff is. I feel like not a lot came out of here. I'm gonna have to kind of check. Maybe I just didn't pay much attention. Hope there was at least the right amount was drained. I didn't even check the oil before, so oh well, I guess. But all right, new filter on, drain plug back in and tight. We can get this thing back down and throw some oil in it. As the manufacturer recommends, 5W50 full synthetic Motorcraft. It's a stock motor, doesn't need anything super crazy. This is more than good enough. Even if it was a built motor, it'd be more than good enough. Although most engine builders will recommend their own oil, like Driven or Mobil 1 or something of that nature. But for a factory car, full synthetic 5W50 for the GT500s, definitely the go-to. All right, we got our 6.5 quarts thrown into here. Let's get it started. Make sure we got oil pressure. I don't see why we shouldn't. Check the oil level, make sure that's good. All right, let's fire it up. There's our oil pressure. All right, let's get this oil level checked. Should be good, but always want to make sure. A little tough to see. It's about 3/4. You probably can't see it. It's about 1/2 to 3/4 up. It's about right. Give it one more little swipe. Oh yeah, smack dab in the middle. Yep. All right, we'll throw another 1/2 quart in there. We'll put it at full. Send it on its way. Well, I mean, it's gonna take right at 7. Another little bit of maintenance for this thing. We're gonna give it some AMSOIL transmission fluid. I don't think this thing's ever had a transmission fluid change. I think it's got like 80-something thousand miles, or it might have had more, I don't even remember. Typically on these, I would just go back with, you know, just regular Mercon or something, whatever from the factory. It's a stock transmission, it's not built. So I would just go back with factory, but this customer wanted to try this AMSOIL transmission fluid, see if it helps it shift any better. I guess we'll find out, we'll see. Get it drained from over here. And then we'll get it topped back off through over here and give it a little test drive later and see how it works out. Well, the fluid's actually not too bad. Probably could have went even longer with it, but I guess little maintenance is never a bad thing. All right, time to get this fluid into the trans. Just using a little hand pump like so. You can get these at Harbor Freight. They're like $8 or something. Next thing we're gonna do on this GT500, I'm gonna grease up all these little Zerk fittings. They've probably never been greased by the looks of it. So I'll get them wiped off, get some fresh grease in them. Also, this top one up here, where is it at? Come on. Let's see, focus. There it is, you can barely see it. Top one up here, doesn't even have one. I have an assortment that I picked up from Harbor Freight. So I'm not sure if they're standard or metric. So I got an assortment of both. So I'll put a new Zerk fitting in that and get that one greased up as well. Ended up going with this 1/4 inch 28 TPI. I don't even know what that means, honestly. Just ended up throwing a straight 1/4 inch. It fit in perfect. I was able to tighten it up good, so now I just got to get them greased. For greasing, this is probably one of the best setups. Just a little Milwaukee grease gun with one of these. I think it's called Lock and Lube. Lock and Lube right there. Cause look, it's on there. It literally locks from this little deal, and then you just grease it up. Get about 3 or 4 pumps, should be good. Maybe we'll go one more. Oh yeah, we got a little grease coming up. Right up in there. Yeah, there we go. Now we got, it took about two more little pumps to get a little grease coming out. So yeah, this thing was pretty dry. So I'll just get the rest greased up. All right, so we're gonna be doing a bushing insert on this upper bushing for the differential. I already got the control arm up off of it, got my pole jack set up. The instructions state, I've never done the bushing insert where it keeps the sleeve. The one that I always use, a complete solid bushing setup. So, but we're gonna use this sleeve, just gonna be like a polyurethane bushing insert, so it's not gonna be solid. So pretty much I gotta drill out this deal with just like an 1.5 inch pole saw, and then get it cleaned up and then get the bushing popped in. So seems pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So we'll check it out. So this is actually pretty simple. All right, so that came out actually very easy. Went ahead, drew it all the way through. Started off on this side, and then I came to this side. The hole saw I have is long enough to go all the way through. And then just kind of did have to make sure it was centered, you know, so it don't chew up the actual sleeve. And then just blew it out with some air. There's still a little bit in here. I'm gonna see if I have a grinding wheel or a wire wheel deal that I can put on my drill. If not, I'll have to get in here with a file and get the rest of that bushing out. But overall, came out pretty simple. All right, here's the bushing that we're gonna put in this diff housing. It's basically a 3-piece. So this side is gonna be on the driver's side, this side is gonna be on the passenger side. So this part will have to come off, and then I'll have to slide through. So I have to put some grease on it. Should be cleaned up enough. See, I got it cleaned up pretty good. I might have to scrape a little bit more at that little bit of bushing that's left in there. So we'll find out, see how easy this thing goes in there. Yeah, throw some grease on there, try to press it through. Might have to hit it with a rubber mallet, or maybe even grab like a C-clamp or something, help squeeze it in there. All right, so it worked pretty good just using one of these guys you can get from Home Depot or whatever. I was able to use it to, you know, just squeeze it through. Of course, I had to put this one in first this way. So I squeezed that in as far as I could. I just used a little piece of flat stock on this side, just a little piece of flat metal that I had. So probably almost anything can work. And then once it was in far enough, then I put this other one, did the same exact thing until this part of the bushing bottom out. So now I should be able to put this in here and then squeeze it in the rest of the way and then put the sleeve. So this one over here had to come out a little bit more. It's got to come out all the way over here, which makes perfect sense because it's lip right here, right? So it's got to come out enough, not this little section flush right here. So push that one all the way through. Then you can get this guy right here, and then this guy should sit pretty flush right here. And now we can put the sleeve through. Hopefully that goes in pretty smooth. Then the controller. So I tried with that, I don't know what you even call it, but this guy, the quick grip, right? I know they're generally used to, I don't know, hold wood or what have you. I tried it with this to press that sleeve in, but I guess because of the bushing on this side has, I guess, like a little hump in it that goes, you know, inside. It just didn't want to go past that point. So I did have to bust out the little ball joint C-clamp to get it to run in. Once it got past that point, then, I mean, it went in pretty easy. I was almost able to just do it by hand, but I just went ahead and put my Milwaukee ratchet on it and just ran it straight through. So a little bit more difficult than what I thought, but overall fairly simple. All right, there we have it, finished product. I'm not gonna lie, definitely recommend having the ball joint style C-clamp. It'll make things a lot easier. It's a pretty tight fit with trying to get the control arm back over the bushing on the differential. So definitely would have to take your time, be pretty patient. I had to use a pry bar to kind of pry the upper control arm over towards the passenger side a little bit, as well as I needed a shorter pry bar up for the top to pull it down at the same time. Probably would have been a little bit easier had I had, taken off the panhard bar and the anti-roll bar to allow a little more movement of the rear end, but I really didn't want to take all that stuff off. And even then, just prying it over and then prying the control arm down it's not like it was real hard. So, but that's what I had to do. So that's pretty much it. Other Zerk fitting on the front of the control arm. It's greased up, ready to rock. I can put this thing back down. If anyone sees this, customer has it off just to allow it to actually flex, since he drives it on the street a lot. Hence the tires. Although, most of my guys back when we had all the GT500s, we just roll around with it full anti-roll bar ready to go. So, but that's it. I think that's a wrap on this one, on this GT500. So until the next project, see y'all later.